United States now, where Republican candidates are still battling for their party's nomination for next year's presidential election.
But one hopeful, the Texas Governor Rick Perry, may just have destroyed his campaign after an extremely embarrassing gaffe during the latest GOP debate. For more, our reporter Lisa Miller joins us now from Washington. Lisa, good morning. Rick Perry has outdone himself here.
Michael, the debate was always going to be intensely watched, but not for the reason it ended up being so. We were all waiting for what questions Herman Cain might get about these allegations of sexual harassment. But about an hour into the debate, we ended up getting this instead.
And I will tell you, it's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone. Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see.
You need 5.
Oh, 5, okay. So commerce, education, and the
EPA?
EPA, there you go. No, okay.
Let's talk deposition.
Seriously? Is EPA the one you were talking about? Or?
No, sir. No, sir. We were talking about the agencies of government. The EPA needs to be rebuilt. There's no doubt about that.
But you can't name the third one?
The third agency of government, yeah. I would do away with the education, the commerce, and let's see. I can't. The third one I can't. Sorry. Oops.
Oops, indeed. I've watched that video about 6 times in the last couple of hours, Lisa. It is so compellingly bad, and I don't know what's worse. Him not being able to remember those 3 departments or the 3rd department, or him trying to seek help from the very men who want to crush him either side of his podium.
And that pathetic little oops at the end when he realises. And look, they knew how bad it was straight away, because there's always a spin room at the end of these debates where people gather to talk about how different candidates went. Normally the staff turn up in the spin room. Rick Perry himself immediately raced in there to talk to journos and said lucky he'd worn his boots because he really stepped in it. But the newspapers were pretty unkind this morning. This is the Washington Post. In a debate, oops, Perry draws a blank. And the New York Times, oops at debate when Perry can't get to 3. It's pretty damning, and as you say, most people are wondering whether his campaign can actually survive this. I mean, the one thing going in his favour is that he has bucket loads of money, but donors would have to be getting nervous when they've got a possible presidential candidate who just fluffs it so badly.
And putting it into context, this comes after a series of pretty bad debate performances by Rick Perry.
Oh, virtually all of the debates he managed to appear so bad at that his staff were considering pulling him out of future debates. He was probably wishing last night that they'd gone ahead of that. They'd gone ahead with that plan. But there was also the speech a couple of weeks ago, Michael, when he was in New Hampshire, and his behaviour was so odd and so out of character that his staff were forced to deny that he'd been drunk or was on some kind of medication. So his whole campaign has gone so downhill from where it began. He was the last candidate to come in. There was such a buzz about him. Everyone thought, here's the guy that is going to take on Mitt Romney, who's continued to just move on forward as the front runner. And right now, the question is, how much longer can he last?
Not long, I'd suggest. Lisa Miller in Washington, thank you.
Thanks, Michael.